scenarios and NBA fashion. The tunnel walk is starting to look like a catwalk. Do you like, love, or hate it? All that coming up a little later on in the show. But first, the Memphis Grizzlies are coming. In fact, they are here. To the tape. Game 4 at FedEx Forum. The Memphis Grizzlies with a 2-1 lead in the series the first half. The Thunder led by as many as 17 points, but Memphis has not lost their home court advantage this postseason. So Monday was no different as they beat the Thunder 103-97 in overtime. But there was a difference in Durant. He missed all 5 shots in overtime, including a layup in the final seconds. Being the team leader, we want to know, how responsible is Kevin Durant for the loss? Hey, Bayless, we'll start with you.
Stephen A. Smith, I have to go 95% responsible for Kevin Durant. And again, I'm the first to admit to you, I am judging Kevin Durant by the highest of standards because we all know he is the most gifted scorer in the game of basketball. He is a proven clutch shooter. And clearly, Stephen A., I'm the first to admit to you, and we talked about this, Kevin Durant in this series is up against 3 defenders voted by the coaches of the league to the first or second all-defensive teams that were announced yesterday. And clearly, the Thunder right now would be better with Russell Westbrook, and they would be way better if they had Westbrook and James Harden, who I remind you again, led the NBA last year and made fourth-quarter free throws. But given all that, with 2:27 left last night, once again, the Thunder were in perfect position to win the basketball game. It happened in Game 1, in Game 2, in Game 3, and again last night in Game 4. Perfect position for the best player on the court to take over and close the deal. Kevin Durant closed the deal, as we remember, only in Game 1. He failed to close in 2-3, and again last night in Game 4. Now, to his credit, Stephen A., I must admit, there was a play last night with 42 seconds left. He did the up and under move. If we could see the play, Zach Randolph was credited with a block on this play, and it should have been a foul call. I thought Zach hacked Kevin Durant across the forearm on that play. It was a turning point in the game because the ball went the other way clearly. Kevin Durant should have been shooting 2 free throws to put the Thunder ahead with 42 seconds left. And to his credit, he did have that swoop to the hoop, that George Gervin-esque finger roll that did help send the game into overtime. But as Kerry pointed out, 0 for 5 in overtime. As I'm going to point out, 2 for his last 13, Stephen A. And again, missed another key free throw down the stretch. Missed 2 in the previous game in the last minute. I'm sorry, not good enough for a guy I think is at the top of the list, Stephen A. Smith.
Skip Bayless, it would be a lot easier to accept your position, the soliloquy that you just put out there, if you were willing to take a moment to give Russell Westbrook credit for being far more important to the success of this team than you had given him in the past. Outside of that.
Time out.
Go ahead.
Well, help me out here. Did they get blown out in these 4 games without Russell?
No.
No. In position to win all 4 of them. Late.
I understand that. But what I'm saying to you is that doesn't negate my point. Russell Westbrook is far more important than we all realized, especially you, because of clearly the absence of Russell Westbrook affects this team in terms of aggression, in terms of assertiveness, in terms of really going after another team and not finding yourself in these precarious situations. Now, having said all of that, I got news for you, Skip Bayless. On this particular day, for this particular game, every point you made was right on the money. Because you actually missed another point that would have helped your argument even more. Kevin Durant shot 10 of 27. When does that happen? Kevin Durant he shot 51% from the field this year, 41% from three-point range. This dude is not just money as a scorer. He makes better than 1 of every 2 shots he takes. This is what his MO is. Yesterday, he almost shot 33%. I mean, it was in the 30 percentile. That's not Kevin Durant. So clearly, it's bothering him to some degree. Now, we're talking about the Memphis Grizzlies here, who I've openly said we've got to give credit where credit is due. You're talking about a Gasol. You're talking about a Tony Allen. You're talking about a Tayshaun Prince. You're talking about three of the elite defenders in this game that this man has to go against, not to mention the bodies that collide with his skinny self. So, you know, there's rationale behind why he's struggling, and we all understand that. But more importantly than anything else, Skip, when you look at the production from the other people, Reggie Jackson scores 15 points. That's not bad. Kevin Martin scores 18 points. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Serge Ibaka drops 17 points. That's not bad. So the assistance that we said that Kevin Durant would need in order for the Thunder to pull out this series was there, which means that he was in a position to close the deal. The fact is that, what was he, like 2 of his last 10, 2 of his last 11?
13.
You know, it was, listen, I'm looking at it. I was at the Chicago-Miami game, and then after that I had to come back to watch, you know, the second half of this game and what have you. You know, but the point is, I'm looking at this kind of stuff, and I'm saying there's no question in my mind. You're absolutely right today. Overall, I might have issues with some of the things that you say about Kevin Durant in terms of the onus that you place on his shoulders. But today, I don't even think it's required for you to judge him by the highest of standards. Simply judge him by the standards any superstar is held to. If your supporting cast comes through and does their job, it's your job to close. Kevin Durant did not close, as I predicted he wouldn't. And I still contend to you, this is the best thing that could have happened to him. The Kevin Durant that you will see for years and years to come is going to be significantly better than even he is as a great player right now because of this experience. He's going to have to look himself in the mirror in the offseason, which, by the way, is coming in just a matter of days. Really look himself in the mirror and say, hey, what could I have done to be better? And it's going to take him back to not just this season, but all of these years he's been with Russell Westbrook. And perhaps if he had really developed that level of assertiveness we're talking about here, while Russell Westbrook was on the floor with him, they might be champions already. He's going to have to ask himself that question. So I don't disagree with anything that you're saying. Today, based off of last night's game specifically, you are absolutely on the money.
Okay. I also want to remind you off last night, the Thunder played a tour de force first half at Memphis, at that crazy loud place that Memphis is virtually unbeatable in the first half last night. Kevin Durant had 6 assists at halftime. Unusual for him, but boy did it work because they were up 8, Stephen A., and they put 56 points on that really good defensive team in its own building. And then what happened in the second half? Durant had only 1 assist. What happened down the stretch? They were virtually triple teaming him, and it screamed for him to make basketball plays. And we all know, you know, not only does he want to beat LeBron James, he wants to be LeBron James. And Stephen A., he couldn't make the basketball plays. All those teammates that helped in the first half, that were there for him in the third quarter when the flow was still flowing, it bogged down. And again, he was a lot of 1-on-3 situations when Derek Fisher, Kevin Martin, Cephalosha, Ibaka, they're all standing with open shots, and he couldn't pick and choose, should I shoot this one or should they shoot this one? It's a feel for the game. He's not LeBron in that category. He doesn't have that feel for distributing that LeBron showed us in the finals last year against Kevin Durant when he got so many people off hot, as we saw with Chalmers and Mike Miller and even D. Wade in the third game back in Miami.
Well, I hear where you're coming from, but the point again is, you can look at all of those things, Skip. I don't think it's a matter of Kevin Durant wanting to be anybody. I think Kevin Durant being the best that he can be is more than good enough. The point is that he has got to step up, and he has got to just display a level of assertiveness that we haven't seen from him. The times that we talked about him being the deferential superstar, the one that was willing to share, you know, the kind of guy that you know, you just loved as a basketball player because he was so unselfish. You know, sometimes a level of selfishness is what's required. That's really what it comes down to. This is the playoffs, these are the postseason. Can't be passive.
And Stephen A., I know a lot of people are saying, did he get tired? Did he play too many minutes? Do we ever ask that of LeBron James? I'm going to be fair here. We never say, did LeBron get tired? Because he doesn't get tired. If Kevin Durant got tired, that's on Kevin.
But yeah. If you don't bring up LeBron's name, then you're right. But nobody compares to LeBron, man.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm judging him again by the high standards.
But you can't. But that's not fair. It's not fair.
Well, I think it is.
I'm talking about as a physical specimen. Now, if you want to talk basketball skills, fine.
Yeah.
But as a physical specimen, there's certain things that's just God given. Skip.
Okay.
You look at LeBron. I mean, I stand next to LeBron James. He is just a freak of nature.
I get it. Yeah.
Can't do that.
Okay.
I can't fault Kevin Durant for not being that.
Okay.
Nobody is.
So let me just sum this up for our viewers, Stephen A. One last hurrah here. Game 1, the Thunder were down 3 with 1:08 left, and Kevin Durant took it over the way nobody can take that game over, and they won. Game 2 at home, they're up 1 with 2:41 left, and they lose on a 10-3 Memphis run. Game 3 in Memphis, it's 81 all with 1:58 left. Come on, Kevin, got to win. And then Game 4 last night, Oklahoma City up 1 with 2:27 left. Come on, KD, where are you?
Bayless.
Come on.
Skip Bayless.
I'm giving you the details here.
Skip Bayless. Kevin Durant is overmatched. He is going against an elite defensive team. He is a lone ranger. Other guys can just do their job.
Okay.
But no matter what you want from Kevin Durant, you're not beating Memphis by yourself.
Okay, but
you're not
remember,
doing it.
It's hard to get in great late position to beat Memphis. 2 games in Oklahoma City, 2 games in Memphis. If the Lone Ranger isn't really, really good, Stephen A., he got them in position and couldn't finish.
It happens all the
They would have
time.
gotten blown out in these games.
LeBron used to get Cleveland in position, but until he paired up with D-Wade and Chris Bosh, what happened to him? Because he went up against a Boston Celtics team that was a team at the time, an elite defensive team in this game.
Yeah.
The same could be said when he went up against Orlando, coached by Stan Van Gundy, with Mikal Pietrus and Hedo Turkoglu and Dwight Howard and all of those boys. They had size. They got out to the perimeters. One man couldn't beat him. Kevin Durant is one man. I'm not going to say anything because miracles can happen, but it doesn't look like he's going to beat Memphis because Memphis is an elite defensive team.
All right, look, Stephen A., you said the offseason is coming for the Thunder, so do they lose on Wednesday
They
at
win
home?
Game 5, Kerry. They win Game 5. They lose Game 6 back in Memphis.
Okay.
Memphis goes on to the conference finals.
All right, there you have it. You agree?
Yep.
Coming up next, guys.